how do you break the news to your family that you want to get into motorcycling, and how do you address the issue of your family rejecting this and saying that you cannot get into motorcycling? That's what I want to talk about today. Hi everyone, good morning, good evening, good day, depending on the location that you're watching this video from. If it is your first time here, this is Wamoyo Karaoke, and this week I have been doing a daily vlog every day. So yesterday today actually, you were meant to be seeing a video about yesterday, but unfortunately the internet failed me and that did not upload. I only achieved 18% in 12 hours. So I woke up and had to make a decision on whether to post it today and then do another today and post it, and have two videos probably in 24 hours. And the decision I made is that I'm gonna do today's video. So I'm gonna start with what happened yesterday. So woke up as usual, Nescafe time, and then I had an IG live yesterday, so I had to do the IG live yesterday with Alex. Alex is the chair lady of Women Bikers Association in Kenya. It was such a great conversation speaking to Alex and talking about the growth of women bikers in Kenya. You can actually watch the entire conversation on my IGTV, and I do IGTV every Friday at 6 o'clock in the evening Kenyan time. So today's topic, I'm going to do this different. Today I have actually a topic to talk about, and today's topic is how do you break the news to your family that you want to get into motorcycling, and how do you address the issue of your family rejecting this and saying that you cannot get into motorcycling. That's what I want to talk about today, because this is something I also went through. And to be honest with you, I wish I knew what I know now. I wouldn't have put my family through what I put them. So in this video, I'm going to help you deal with family rejection when you want to get into motorcycling. I'm going to take you through what you should do and how you should handle the situation to ensure that they feel comfortable and you also get into motorcycling without causing a rift with your family and friends as well. So by the end of the video, you will know how to handle it. If you're watching this and you're dealing with this right now, your family has said do not ride, your family has told you to sell your motorcycle, your family has said they don't want to hear, or you're thinking about joining motorcycling and you're worried about how you're going to handle your family, how you're going to break the news, and how you're going to break the news and how you're going to handle them, this video is for you. So we're going to do this as I fix my jeans. I only have 2 pairs of jeans, and this one, the zip broke. So we're going to talk about this as we actually fix my zip. So let's first talk about why does your family say no? Why do families say no to motorcycling? Why don't they want us to ride? Why do they feel that this is a topic that we can't talk about? There are many reasons, but the most common ones is because motorcycling is portrayed as a dangerous activity, and the information that is in the public eye is always the very negative information. People see accidents, they're shown motorcycle accidents, they actually even witness what goes on in the roads because drivers and other road users do not respect us, and they get to see how motorcyclists are treated on the road and how many risks we are exposed to. That is one. So they're always afraid to let someone they love and care for be in that situation. And I would like to add this because I know my family will take care of me on the road, but the person who puts me in danger on the road is someone who is called family by someone else. So all of you watching this, if you're not motorcyclists, if you're driving on the road, using the roads, whether walking as a pedestrian, driving your car, please always have road courtesy, not just for motorcyclists, for everyone who's using the roads. Let's share the road. Let's keep each other safe. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason why families are against their family members getting into motorcycling is because of the culture and the stereotyping. Old days, motorcyclists were known as gang. They were actually referred with the name or the word gang. There used to be a lot of aggressive activities from bikers in the old days. That used to be the culture, but it's not the culture today. But unfortunately, that is what our families know. If you Google and come across the information about biker clubs and biker culture out there in the Google, you're almost likely to come across the gangs and the aggressiveness that was there before. But things have changed. But who is telling the story today of the good motorcyclists, the safe riders? Who's talking about it? We need to put this information out there and make sure that we stop the stereotyping of bikers, so that when our families research or the information they come across about bikers is positive information, because a lot of us, almost all of us, maybe not all of us, are doing positive things with our riding. We have mothers, daughters, fathers, husbands, brothers riding motorcycles. We use them to go to work. We use them to travel. We use our motorcycles to do charity. We use our motorcycles positively. And this information is not out there. That's why when people look for information about bikers, they come across the old culture of bikers. And of course, that's very discouraging. Nobody wants to see their loved ones being associated with that. Those are the reasons why our families don't want us to join motorcycling. But I'm sure at this point, if you're still watching and your son or daughter or husband or cousin or niece or nephew, name it, have mentioned, indicated, or told you that they want to join motorcycling, I hope that so far, now you know that we're not bad people. Now you're going to let them join motorcycling and enjoy what they love doing. So let's go to things that we need to do as motorcyclists to make sure that when our families hear about us wanting to get into motorcycling, they're not worried and they give us the support we're looking for. Because to be honest, it all starts with us. And like I have said, the first thing we need to do is change the narrative. Show the positive side of motorcycling, because today that it is. And of course, our families also need to support us on the road. They need to share the roads nicely with us. This knife may be scaring someone. Let me put it down. I am not about to stab anyone. Our families need to also take care of us on the roads, and they need to share the roads with us so that all of us are safe on the roads. I'm talking about road safety, yes. So what else do we need to do as motorcyclists so that our families are more comfortable with us getting into motorcycling and we can always get their blessings? The first one, we all need to accept that we are getting into a dangerous sport. Most of the conversations in homes, and I did the same, that's why I'm saying that I wish I knew what I know now. I would have taken my family through it better. I wouldn't have made them go through the fear, the worry, and the anxiety, and yeah, I wouldn't have put them through what I did. The first one is we need to accept that we are getting into a dangerous sport. Most conversations go like, you know what you're getting into is very dangerous. And then, of course, the person who is joining the motorcyclists or becoming a rider says, no, it's not dangerous. It's actually very safe to ride. You're lying. It is not. And that is not a line you should use with people who care about you. That's not a line you should use with your family or friends. Let's accept that it is dangerous. What we're getting ourselves into is dangerous. And you know what? By accepting that we are getting into a dangerous activity, whether you're doing it for commute, travel, or sport, it means that with that in our minds, we are going to take precautions, we are going to take care, and we will always have safety at the front. We will have safety at the forefront of everything. But the minute we ourselves are in denial of it being a dangerous sport, definitely also the safety will not be the first thing we think about. So take note of that. Tuko pamoja? The second thing we need to do is everyone who wants to become a rider needs to do proper research of what they're getting themselves into. Today, technology has changed. Motorcycles are being built better than before. They come with more safety features, and you need to know this when you're getting into riding. You need to understand what kind of training you need to do. You need to understand what precautions do you need to do. Do you need to take? And more especially when you're going to shop for your motorcycle, you need to understand and know very well what safety features are in that motorcycle that you want to ride, so that you can also purchase the best and the one that gives you more safe, so that you can purchase the best that you can afford and the one that gives you more safety aspect on the road. So, when you're knowledgeable and when you understand well what you're getting yourself into, the other person, your family, your friends, they also have more confidence in you, and they know that you're well knowledgeable about what you're getting yourself into. You understand it very well, and so you build their confidence in you and in the activity as well. That's number 2. Number 3 is very important, and let me tell you guys, I'm so guilty of this one. It's called the ego check. If you have watched my video on how I started riding, which I'm going to put the link up here, you know that I entered motorcycling, or I got into motorcycling with the wrong mindset. I used to think I'm going to be this sports bike superstar. I actually used to brag that I'm not gonna ride anything less than 600cc. That's how I entered the motorcycling. But let me tell you what, if you're coming into motorcycling to show off, ride in a manner of showing off, don't. If you're coming to motorcycling to do stunts on the road and to do stunts where you shouldn't do the stunts, don't. If you focused on doing stunts, just train to be a stunt rider. Don't call yourself a biker. Get yourself a very good medical cover, because you will need it, and just be a stunt rider. And there are safe places where you do stunts, where you can go ride for stunts. There are those safe places. Make sure that you also ride in those places. So guys, ego check is very important. I'm still talking about the things we need to do as bikers to make sure that our families and friends have confidence in us and support what we are getting ourselves into. So let's go to number 4. Number four is the riding gear. Mostly, and this is what I have observed, and I also did the same. I bought my motorcycle on my second day of training, but I had not bought my gear. And I think we are so many people who have made this mistake. And what this mistake does to us is that you tend to start riding without the necessary safety gear. And so you expose yourself to injuries and accidents. Of course, when you're starting to ride, your skills are low, you're probably still training like I was. I bought my motorcycle, I was still training. And so I just used to use it at home in the parking lot, which I shouldn't have been doing without the riding gear, and especially a helmet. You know, you can repair a fracture, you can treat bruises, but you can't repair this. You can't repair your head. So the first thing you should buy if you want to get into motorcycling is a helmet. As in, that is the minimum of safety gear that you can have, a helmet. Let me tell you something, and honestly, there is no biker who will tell you that they are millionaires and they were able to wake up one day, walk into a showroom, buy a motorcycle, walk into the next shop, buy the riding gear in full. We've all had to save towards our motorcycling, and we've had the process of budget, knowing what to start with, and buying everything slowly until where we are. It's a process. Buy your riding gear first before the motorcycle so that temptation goes away. It's important. That's number 4 of things that we need to do ourselves before other people can trust us and feel confident to support us. Of course, the training is very important, because if you get your motorcycle and try to do the training by yourself, you are likely to teach yourself the wrong way of doing things. You need a proper training by someone who understands riding motorcycles and is going to train you to ride a motorcycle safely. Don't just learn how to operate a motorcycle. And also, as you choose who teaches you, who trains you to ride your motorcycle, I highly recommend that people go to a proper training school with a certified instructor, because I would be honest, if I trained you how to ride a motorcycle because I know it, I'm so likely to transfer the mistakes I make to you, which is not going to help you but make your riding worse. So my recommendation is find a training school with a certified training instructor and learn it the right way. And of course, keep continuous training, because you do the basic to start with, and then there are many other trainings that you need to do after that. Your basic training to ride a motorcycle is not enough for your entire riding. You need to train how to do defensive riding, which has more safety in it. You need to train on off-road riding so that you're able to manage yourself when you're riding off-road. It's very different when you're riding off-road. There's a mosquito. It's very different when you're riding on tarmac and when you're riding off-road. So now, coming from training, the next one is shopping for your motorcycle. And this one I'm gonna get bashed, because the big bikes, small bikes fallacy. So you have people who will come and talk to you and tell you, you know what, you just finished your training, don't buy a 250cc bike, because you're going to get bored with this bike in a few months. You will want to buy another bike. Buy a bike that is maybe 600, 700cc, a bike that you can last with for a long time. Well, they have a point, but where are the skills? Where are the skills to manage that bike? Most of the times, we are all very different. We are very different, and when we go through training, we come out at different levels. There are people who do their basic training and can handle a 600, 700cc bike. But there are other people who get out of the training and can only handle a bike less than 300cc. So when you're advising someone about what to buy, it's only fair that you advise them from a point of understanding their skill level and their ability to manage that machine, because you honestly do not want a bike that manages you. Because do you know how bikes manage you? They kill you. If you have a machine that you can't control, that you can't manage, it's gonna kill you. It goes for anything. And so the big bike, small bike fallacy, I think it's very ill-informed. It can be a very big discussion that I don't want to get into, but buy a bike that matches your skills. Buy a bike that matches your skills. You know yourself better than anybody else who will be offering either solicited or unsolicited advice. So buy a bike that matches your skill. So I have addressed the things that we need to do as bikers, the things that we have to do as bikers to be able to convince our families that what we are getting into, we understand it very well. We are going to be careful so that they can also support us. But how do you break the news to them? And how do you win their support? Because that's exactly what we want. This is where I went terribly wrong with this. Let me tell you how my mom found out that I ride a motorcycle. So the first people that I told about me getting into riding were my kids, and they were young. And so to them, they received the news as children. They were actually excited that their mom is going to start riding a motorcycle. They were excited that they're going to tell their friends. They were excited that their mom is going to be the cool mom. So that's how they received the news. And I even went to meet the instructor with them. My first day, my first conversation with the instructor, I went with the kids. But when it came to my mom and the rest of my family, it did not go well. So the first one was my mother. No, the first people to learn about my riding was my nephew and then my sisters. Yes. And they also did not support it. My nephew actually supported it and went ahead to train himself and become a biker. He's a biker. And this is where things went wrong, because I had not had a conversation the way it should be, the way I want to tell you how it should be with my family. And so when my nephew joined, it also it also attributed to a lot more. They felt, and I would say they were correct, they felt that I introduced biking to him. He is an adult, he made the decision by himself, but me being an auntie, I would not get myself out of that conversation. And to an extent, they were right. Yes, he did it because he saw me. He saw me riding. There was someone riding in the family. He must have thought it's going to be acceptable. Anyway, let me tell you how my mother got to find out. So one day we are having family gathering, and then the TV is on, and my son gets a motorcycle appears. I can't remember whether it was a movie or something, but he goes like, "Mom, that one looks like your motorcycle." And that is how my mom knew I ride a motorcycle. And she was not happy. She was shocked. She did not like it. And everybody else who had said in their own ways, "Wamoyo, you should think about it. Why do you want to get into riding? Don't you want to think thoroughly well about this? It's dangerous." My sisters had come each on their own and expressed how they feel about me biking. But we had never addressed this. And so, you know, when you feel like you want to say, "I told you so," everybody went silent. The next thing I did, again, another wrong move, is I decided to visit my mom. So I'm in Nairobi and I call her and I tell her, "Mom, I'll have breakfast with you in Nyeri from Nairobi. It's only about 2 hours riding or driving, but I didn't tell her I was going to go there by motorcycle. And so I showed up at 10 o'clock on a motorcycle. My mother almost fainted. I think she must have thought 150 kilometers on this thing, with the driving culture that I know, with Kenyan roads and everything else she imagined that of course was not fun. She almost fainted. These are mistakes that I made when I broke the news to my family, and I want you to avoid them. If you're watching this video and you're dealing with your family at this time because you're getting into motorcycling and they don't like it, or they don't accept it, or they don't want you to do it, please make sure you listen to this and how to handle them. And if you're thinking of starting to ride and you don't know how to handle your family, yeah, this is for you. So those are mistakes that I made, and I put my family through a lot, something that I wouldn't have done if I had done the breaking of the news and the conversation better. So let's talk about what you need to do. How do you go about it? Because that's the most important part of this. I don't know whether I'll finish this today, but it's okay. I can finish it later. So the first thing that you need to understand is that you cannot impose your decision to them. You cannot be spiteful and you cannot be aggressive. It's not a matter of they must accept it or they must accept it. No. Please understand where they're coming from. Listen to them. Understand their point of view. Because they also have good reasons why they don't want you to ride. They do. As much as you have prepared yourself, it's not a guaranteed ticket that your family is going to just accept you riding instantly. No. So consider their feelings and listen to what they have to say. Put their feelings into consideration if you honestly expect them to understand you, and also consider how you feel about what you're about to get into, and also understand that you love this and you're taking care of yourself. You need to give their feelings a good share or a good amount of consideration. Also, take what they have to say to your heart. Don't look like, or don't go with I don't care attitude. It's not gonna help. And remember that these people love you, they care for you, and that's the only reason they are concerned. So you cannot ignore their feelings and you cannot ignore what they have to say. They will not change their minds overnight, and therefore to win their trust, you have to also accept to see things from their own perspective. You have to be ready to demonstrate how much you understand of what you're getting into. What safety precautions are you taking? And that is why I talked about the things we need to know and do before we can break the news to our families, because this is where those lessons you've learned and your preparation will come in to win their trust. And the most important, very important, please make sure you have a good medical cover. If you don't have a private medical cover, make sure your NHIF is up to date. There's always the fear of accident and of course finances when it comes to medical cost. Should anything happen, and God forbid, please let your family know that you have taken care of everything and you're not going to burden them with your hospital costs. Of course, I pray that nothing happens, but it is usually a big concern, and most people don't want to talk about what if accidents happen, who's gonna take care of the bills or take care of you.
It's a conversation that most people don't want to talk about, but it's a big issue at the back of every person's mind. In case of an accident, who pays? So make sure that you have a good medical cover and you've taken care of that, and you let them know that that is taken care of. And then practice safe riding to make sure that you don't end up in an accident. I pray it never happens. Guys, I've only managed to tear, like, I haven't even removed the zip. Yes, but I hope that this video helps you break the news to your family, helps you deal with your family, helps you understand your family when you introduce your motorcycling to them and your love for motorcycles to them. And to families out there and everybody else watching, I hope that this video makes you understand who we are and that we take care of ourselves, and that the only thing we want to do is enjoy riding motorcycles safely, and that you're going to share the roads with us. That from today you're going to change how you look at a biker. And until the next episode, I'm wishing you a lovely weekend. I'm also wishing you a happy Madaraka Day. June 1st is around the corner on Monday, so happy Madaraka Day to all Kenyans. Don't leave without subscribing, and until the next video, it is bye for now. Ta-da!